Over 150 artists are gathered here to share their work. Their stuff is original and colorful. Some of their stuff is downright weird, but it's unique and it's awesome. The place is packed with creative, bright, and talented zine makers. It only happens once a year, but Canzine is a huge deal for the vibrant Canadian zine scene. It's organized by Broken Pencil magazine, the world's only publication devoted exclusively to underground culture and the independent arts. Canzine was a hotbed of makers, zinesters, craftsters, independent book publishers, video game hackers, comic jammers. We talked to them about making media and maker culture. Here's what they had to say. What is it that you make?
What is it that I don't make is more the question. I've done everything from painting, clothing, comic books, coloring books, patches, multimedia. I've been working on a comic book for about 5 years, I guess, and that'll be hopefully coming out when I have the money to do it. Money is key here, but yeah, generally self-publishing is the way to go.
What got you interested in doing this in the first place?
I don't think there was ever a moment where it was like, this is what I want to do. If you're born with being able to do something very well, why would you? I mean, it started at such a young age when I would make my own clothes and, be drawing while parents were doing whatever else, that there was really no question about what I wanted to do.
I like that I kind of get to interact with the people who are buying my work. So it's interesting to see their reaction to the books I make instead of just selling it secondhand through a store where I don't get to interact, It's just a totally different environment, really.
I make a lot of stuff. I do a lot of drawing and painting and printmaking and bookbinding and sewing. So this is kind of a representation of all that sort of stuff, collage. I just had a book that was published by a small press in Ontario called Porcupine's Quill, which is a collection of 90 lino cuts, and it's a wordless graphic novel. And then I just have a lot of zines of drawings and some poems and stuff. So I guess I just think of myself as a creator in whatever sense. It's just sort of, if there's a material that inspires me and I can use my hands to make it, then that's what I like to do. I mean, I don't come here really to make money. It's really about just showing people what I've made, but it's just the most satisfying thing in the world to make stuff, to use your hands. So I do it.
We take from life in many ways, and I think we kind of focus on the ridiculous things that happen day to day, and that often appears in our work. People with an artist background are more of the do-it-yourselfer types anyways, and that's why a lot of the people you see around here are artists.
What exactly is a comic jam?
Well, it's basically, it was one person does one drawing, and then another person does the other drawing, or they can do 2 or 3 panels if they want. But the idea is that it's kind of like a comedy improv, where, like one person comes up with an idea and the next person kind of riffs off of it. Generally, it takes about 5 or 6 months for a person to put together 24-page comics. So in one evening, you get the satisfaction of having a completed comic book by a group of people. So that's basically it. And also, too, just like people will take off on your idea, and surprising things can happen.
One of the things I get out of it is the fact that you create and you're there and you're interacting with people and you get ideas, and it's all like one big process. So you're not sitting at a computer on your own somewhere else. You're there with other people. So it's a two-way street. So that's the one thing I get out of it.
I think when you get into the 3D and using the computers, it's actually more time consuming actually to get an idea out. And there's always like you got the mouse over here and you got the screen over there. Just the immediacy, it goes on the paper really quickly. And people do it from like a kid, so it's, from the age of nothing, you're trying to scribble stuff. So it's the most natural way to draw.
So what were your motives behind doing this?
I make video games, so I always wanted to play my video games on an old arcade type machine, you know, with the old joystick and the buttons, and it's fun actually. You know, it was a lot of annoyance to get everything to work because of the technology not doing what you want it to do, or I mean, it does what you tell it, but it doesn't do what you want. I find when I get frustrated enough, I walk away and then come back the next day and say, okay, more ideas come to you, and you figure, okay, why this isn't working is, you know, maybe this, so you try it and it works. Eventually, we got the laptop to run off the USB stick. Then I had to get the cabinet and basically rip out the interior to get the TV to fit in. It's actually running on a TV, not a monitor. And because the laptop had S-video out, so we wanted to have it looking retro, and computer monitors don't necessarily look like the old arcade machines. So the TV actually does look a little more retro, and getting that in the machine was a bunch of physical building, you know, wood and glue and nails and screws and things. It was a lot of head scratching and hair pulling, and eventually it worked.